Hello, Wankers.
What's up, Vankahs?
It's race week, Vankahs. It's race week, Guenther. How excited are you?
Yeah, I'm excited. We had a few weeks without it, and I'm going there when I'm leaving the States on Thursday. I'm going to Zandvoort. But first of all, we must thank Matt that he was able to get up early today, So yeah, at 9 o'clock. But anyway, some people like to sleep. No, it's
yes.
Yeah.
Out the gate. Brett.
Yeah, exactly. Because when I get an advantage, I need to use it. It's like Formula One. When you have a chance, if somebody sleeps too long, you need to get in there when you can.
Yeah.
Don't miss an opportunity. Right. You see how quiet it is. Normally, I would get all this.
I just don't know. I just don't know whether it's worth admitting if it's better or worse that I was up.
It's worse. It's actually worse.
I was up just on my phone thinking we were 9:30, and then
Matt,
is that better or worse?
Worse. Let the thinking to Brian.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
No thinking.
No,
as you do normally. As you do normally. No thinking.
I'm your brain. No, he still thinks it's summer break, but it's race week.
Exactly.
Gentlemen.
It's
race week, gentlemen. We're back. So we're going to be talking about a lot of things today. We're going to be discussing Zandvoort. We're going to be discussing the second half of the season, if a comeback is possible, and if that is possible, who is going to launch and make said comeback. But we also have a little bit of news to discuss. We're covering it all on this episode of Vankah Hours, part of the Vox Media Network. Let's cue the music.
Go Fox smash my door. I'm got the fucking Steiner and I'm back for more. Go Fox smash my door. I've got the fucking Steiner and it's time for Vankah Hours, baby. Vankah Hours, baby. Vankah Hours, baby.
And we're back. Okay, Guenther. We've been talking about Cadillac. Last few episodes, you've been discussing Cadillac. They're not doing great. When you were at Haas, you came out the gate firing. Cadillac's been looking slow. Aston Martin makes these upgrades. All of a sudden, they're looking like they're leaving Cadillac in the dust. And then the news comes out that Cadillac is parting ways with their team principal, Graham Loudon, and is bringing in former Alpine executive director, Marcin Budkowski. Reactions to this move from Cadillac?
Not unpredictable. Obviously, I think we always said it here that Cadillac cannot be happy. General Motors with running where they are running, and something needs to be done. I don't know if getting rid of Graham is the right thing or wrong thing, and it's not. I think it's not our problem anyway, so what they do, but for sure the results were not there. And Marcin, for them, for sure, is he's a good guy, and I think he will help. Can he fix all the problems they've got? Wow, I think there are a lot of them, and there's only one Marcin, but I think he has done it before. He was at a lot of big teams. He knows about F1, so he will be a big help. But I hope they give him enough, not only time, but also the resources, and let him do what he needs to do. Because it's not, if he just gets there and being told what he should be doing, I think that will not work. I think they need to give Marcin the power and let him prove that he can get it right, because otherwise it's just another, keep on doing what they're doing. Because, but with Graham, I don't know. I mean, Graham hasn't spoken publicly since he was let go, I guess.
Well, I guess the reports are that Marcin hasn't even been to the factory. Like, this would have been a great time for him to be onboarded, come to the United States, meet everybody. But that hasn't happened yet. It's my understanding. I guess my question is, why now? This seems like a weird time to have done it. It seems almost like it was an impulsive, spur of the moment thing. My question is, why now? Why not do it a little bit earlier before the break so he could get up to speed? Why do this now?
Well, First of all, I think Martin is no point that he goes to the factory because there was nobody there the last 2 weeks because of the summer break.
Right.
So
Right.
I think that is pretty explainable, And coming to the States, I don't think there's a lot in the States in the moment of Cadillac have one team. So, but why now? That's a legit question. It's either you do it before the summer break or after the summer break, but not in the summer break. It is like, I think it's a reaction. I think it also what Aston Martin did triggered maybe something, saying, something above even Dan Tauris said, guys, you're telling us this is difficult, and Aston Martin comes out, they managed, and we said it last time, Aston Martin has managed it very well. They didn't put any small upgrade in. They built a new car and then almost new car and went for it, and made a big step. While Cadillac kept on saying, we're bringing upgrades. Yeah, but the upgrades, you're 3 seconds behind, and the upgrades are bringing you 3,000ths of a second. It's better not to do it, So I think this is just somehow somebody said, okay, we need to do something, whatever it is, and then just hit the button.
Okay, so they brought in this new guy, Marcin Budkowski. Marcin. What can you tell us about him? What's the vibe? He seems like he's a guy who's just like, he's been around. He's had a very storied career. He's been a part of a lot of different operations. What is Cadillac looking to him to do? What does he bring to the table?
Yeah, I think you're right. Marcy was a little bit everywhere, The only job he hasn't done on the podcast with us, So
that's right.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think he started off as an aerodynamic engineer. I don't know which team, McLaren. Then he was at Ferrari. Then he was at Renault for a while as team principal or half team principal. It was a very confusing structure there, yeah. And then he worked at the FIA as well, left that one. And then I think the last years, I mainly, because I spent some of the weekends sitting with him at Pirelli watching races when he was doing broadcasting for the Polish TV, because he's Polish, French, Polish. I don't know if he's French or Polish, but for sure he's Polish,
Polish, yeah.
Polish, yeah. But he studied in France. He's very, he's half, I think, so, or you go up in France. But anyway, no, but what he has a good understanding of Formula One, of everything in general, how it works, He doesn't come only from being an engineer or for the technical side. He knows the business about communication and all that good stuff. So I think the thing he hasn't done is maybe the commercial side of it, but if Cadillac is smart, they keep that one away from him so he doesn't get distracted, and let him do his job in restructuring the team or to do whatever he needs to do. Martin will know pretty quick what he needs to do not to be last.
Expectations were probably low going into this season, but what did they expect going in? I guess my question is, what do you think they expected going in? They couldn't have been the highest expectations, but obviously those expectations aren't being met. And why do you think a new team is unable to do what you guys did at Haas? Because they're acting like, because you hear people reacting to this firing. Like I hear, people in the race going, well, what do they expect? It's a new team. This is crazy, blah, 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 blah. And then they have they have amnesia, because you guys were a new entry from America. You guys weren't coming in with Cadillac behind you, and you were immediately in the points, immediately mixing it up. So is there something that I'm missing? Like, what made it different for you guys? And is it harder now? If anything, you could argue it's easier now with the cost cap. So what am I missing?
I wouldn't say it's, but you're fully right. Now with the cost cap, we didn't have it, and the big team spent about 4 or 5 times what we spent getting into it.
Right.
I think we just focused on ourselves and nothing else. While if you look at Cadillac, there was a lot of expectations created. Oh, we don't want to be expecting, but we expect. Or we will be, and then I think what the biggest, and again, if they would have been last, fine, last, but they are so far off. They have no chance to be second last. Obviously, in the first races, they were saved by Aston Martin, but Aston Martin clearly said, we fucked this up. We need to get this one right. No problem, They they had the reality check, work towards it, and try to get out of the hole. While Cadillac keeps on saying, "Oh, we are not good, but we are not this bad." Actually, you're not really good, So because catching up, and I think now, just talking about the future, what Marcin, I guess that's why I say I hope they let him do what he wants to do, because he knows how Formula One works. Is the first thing I think we will get an announcement that they now, this season is over. Let's focus on 27. No point. I mean, no point to do anything for 26 anymore. I mean, if you keep on whatever you've got in the pipeline, do it, but then just focus on 27. And I think that Marcin, when he gets in there, that's the first thing he will be doing. He will not try to make a new front wing for the race in Abu Dhabi. He doesn't care about it anymore, because that train is gone, or that ship has sailed, So that's what I think. But back to your question, why it ended up like this, I don't really know. I think it's just like they thought it was easier and didn't believe to anybody, because there's a lot of people which are not from F1, and they just think, okay, we do it. And, why all these people tell us it's difficult? We know better anyway.
Right. Speaking of 2027, seems like there's this new ordinance in F1. There's now $6 million that these teams have to play with to adjust for the, updated regs going into next year, namely with the tanks and increasing the size of the tanks. So they have to build new cars for next year, because it's going to be a different 60-40 split between the combustion and the battery. If you're in terms of the teams that are looking towards this adjustment, because you can only spend the money in certain ways. You can spend more of it now. You can split it up. You can push it down the line. Mercedes is pushing it down the line. Red Bull's pushing it towards, down the line. But it looks like Ferrari and McLaren are going to be bringing some of that money into this year. You're talking about a Cadillac. They're going to be pushing all their efforts towards 2027 and the future. Do you think how much of that money can really make a difference? Because I guess as we're looking at this, and it looks like Ferrari is maybe willing to spend more of that money now, it speaks to that they think that maybe they can win now. We're going to get into their upgrades that they're bringing to Zandvoort, and we're going to get into Zandvoort for a second. But how much of a difference can this money make? And is it telling to you that Ferrari is more willing to spend it immediately, whereas Mercedes and Red Bull are kicking it down the line?
I think that money obviously came out of there is a regulation change, and the big teams, I don't think the small teams were on board with this increased budget cut, because the money spent is the same for everyone anyway, so everybody has to spend less. But the big teams have got the money, and they want to keep on pushing the envelope like it was like when there was no budget cap in place. Mm-hmm. So I would say how Ferrari, I think when you know that you have a chance to win a world championship, but we need to invest. That is what you do. Then when you decide how to do it. But maybe Mercedes is thinking, okay, I better be ready also next year to win, because this year we have got a good chance already what we have got, because they know all the numbers. It's all done based on data where you spend it. So I think just Ferrari sees an opportunity here for them, saying, hey, if we keep on investing, we maybe can take it home. If we just take the money aside and hope next year will be better, maybe it doesn't work. And also, if everybody does the same, how can you take an advantage out of it? It's a little bit of a cat and mouse game here. Who is doing what? So it's understandable that it's split between the big teams, how they approach this. And therefore, I think when they had the negotiations to get more money, for sure, getting more money and how you decide when you spend it was the same big discussion like how to get the money, because they always have got their own ideas how they want to do it. What is the best advantage for me? That's always the principle when you negotiate for you.
Yeah, but $6 million, Guenther. I mean, that's when the cost cap is like over 200 million. Isn't that? That's a cup of coffee. I mean, how much does 6 million really get you? Is that one end plate? I mean, realistically, no. What does 6 million actually buy you in the game of F1?
Quite a bit, because the big teams now, they're structured. If you think about their production, they do I would say 90% in-house, production of the parts. So think about it. The designers, that people is there anyway, and that's already in the budget cap. They are paid within the budget cap. The same, the people which produce the parts in the company, they're there. Maybe if you produce more, you need a few more contractors, but you wouldn't employ new people. So 6 million is actually quite a lot of money, because with the 6 million, what you buy is just your base materials. Because all the rest, you have got everything in-house. Because that's what I always say, the teams with the biggest infrastructure and with the best infrastructure and how they manage production, they are more successful, because it's like, how can they make so many upgrades? But for sure, somebody will come up with analyzing the upgrades, because the people, they are in the budget cap already anyway, which make these parts, which design these parts, which develop these parts.
So it's like, they're like Costco. They have everything in bulk and everything's efficient. And the poorer teams have to go to 7-Eleven and pay a premium for every little thing, and they're getting killed. Now I have another question. Okay, so I don't know if you follow basketball at all, but Steve
I know about the Knicks, because we have got somebody on the
this is on
basketball, not baseball.
This is in LA. This is in LA. In LA. Steve Ballmer has gotten in hot water for the third time for what's called potential salary cap circumvention. He was paying he got in trouble for paying Kawhi Leonard through a sponsorship, right? And he's now gotten in trouble with it multiple times. He tried to do it with DeAndre Jordan through Lexus. He did it with Aspiration, and now there's this company Daktronics that he's like through a no-show sponsorship deal, trying to give him extra money to circumvent the cap. I guess my question is, how easy is it to cheat these things? We know Red Bull got in trouble with it before. I guess we used to think in NBA the salary cap was sacrosanct, and now people are looking at it being like, wait a minute, how easy is this to circumvent? I guess my question is, how easy is this cost cap? I mean, we're surrounded by businessmen who live in Monaco who don't pay taxes. I mean, how easy is this cost cap to really circumvent?
I just want to go back a moment to your basketball guy. What was his name?
Steve Ballmer.
Steve Ballmer. He used to be a bigwig at Microsoft.
Okay,
Very rich.
One of the richest. He's the richest individual sports owner in the NBA.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe get in trouble with him now, but if you do it 3 times, guess what? The 2 times before, the punishment wasn't hard enough.
Right.
Then you keep on doing it. I mean, if you just, these people.
But look at the punishment for Red Bull. It wasn't that harsh.
No, but it was the first time. I think, and again, nobody was a second time. To circumvent it, it's very difficult. Everybody tries to get as much in as possible, and obviously, if you make a mistake, it's clearly visible. I mean, the team in the FIA looking after the budget cap, very good people.
The FIA we know is very well run, and they never miss anything.
That is one side of the FIA. I always say the technical side is very good, and the financial side is very good as well. The guy, they know what they're doing. They've got enough resources there to control the teams, and they are, to the teams, a pain in the ass. For the right reason, they are a pain in the ass, and they catch them. And I think, what happened? The first time you find, obviously, the FIA needs some money, you give them some money, you pay your way out of it. But I think if somebody intentionally cheats, you get sporting penalties, and then you don't do it. I think it's, and that for what you just said with the basketball players, that for it's very difficult to install a budget or a salary cap for F1 drivers, because it's so difficult to control that one, because you get a sponsorship agreement, who is paying for that one,
Right.
So, but that's a different thing to do. But as the teams, the finances, the reporting is nothing different than they need to do to, I call it the IRS,
Right.
They use the same numbers. If you cheat on them numbers, you know what is happening. If you cheat with the IRS, you go to jail,
Right.
So, yeah, but you have unlimited spend on marketing. So let's say I'm a engineer. You could just hire me as a marketing guy, and nobody knows the difference.
It has been all done. There was people, the IT people, all of a sudden were working for IT people, but for marketing.
Right.
You say, hey, how many people you need in IT for marketing? Or we need 5. Well, I don't think that's right. And next year it was only 1. After a while, and that's what I say, the FIA is very correct. The FIA financial team, for the correctness, is very good at spotting this stuff. They're seeing trends, and then there is a lot of whistleblowers as well. We say, hey, look what they are doing to circumvent these things. So
Okay.
Right.
put your heart at peace.
We're only 6 years into this cap, so we'll see. Maybe there are ways. There's some leaks in the ship that we haven't quite found yet, and I think at some point they will be found. I just, will it get called out? I think so. These
I'm
are huge
shocked,
organizations.
Guenther. Somehow the FIA, which you slag off every week, it just breaks my brain. What a paradox! This FIA that's poorly run, whose president is in the Lego races. Somehow they have their financial wing and their technical wing are the fucking SEAL Team 6. I'm supposed to
SEAL Team
believe
7. SEAL Team
SEAL
7.
Team 7. Okay.
7.
Okay.
It's the next step.
Okay.
They are, because they are bloody good. I mean, if somebody's bad, I say it. If somebody's good, you need to say it. You cannot just brush them all like you do, or everything is bad. Everything is no.
Okay.
There's always some good things, because like on this podcast, there is 3 people. Only 1 is good, 2 are not, So I don't know who the 2 are,
Thank you.
That's right. And
All
you know
right.
what?
Okay.
And you know what? It was all the catering and that shrimp was worth it. And that's what happened with Red Bull
the
in
lobster,
2021.
yeah, exactly.
It
The
was
lobsters were expensive.
That was all that the salary cap was over by. You can't prove it otherwise, because the FIA's finance team is that
And
good.
you know what?
Okay.
Oh, you know what? The lobster was eaten up, so we couldn't check it even.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. All right, that's enough news. That's enough headlines. Let's talk about Zandvoort. Let's talk about the second half of this Formula One season. Let's talk first about some upgrades that people are bringing into Zandvoort. Ferrari coming in with a significant floor evolution, building on the Barcelona floor for more downforce and wider performance window. Supposedly fast-tracked after they got the data from Silverstone. They're targeting a 1 to 2/10 aero gain. McLaren bringing a 2-part upgrade package. The first part was at Hungary. They're completing it, so now they're bringing the second part. Plus, it's a floor upgrade plus front and rear corner updates. Aston Martin, they're getting their engine. The long-awaited Honda engine. We'll see how that does. Mercedes have scaled back their proposed upgrades, so they're not bringing too much. Red Bull is not bringing anything. Williams not bringing anything. Racing Bulls not bringing anything. Cadillac, nothing. And Audi, nothing. So what do you think? Really, the thing here is that Ferrari and McLaren are bringing upgrades. McLaren looked strong, obviously won the race in Austria. What do you think the power dynamic is going to be for both Zandvoort and for the next few races?
I think McLaren and Ferrari really try to push Mercedes on this one, and Mercedes takes it a little bit. Let's see what is happening, because these upgrades, sometimes they are very good and sometimes they are just nowhere, So it's difficult to say before they go out there, but if Ferrari predicts 1 to 2/10s, that's quite a lot of time for one upgrade. That's a big step. And the most one I look forward to is the Honda engine, because if the engine really has got 30 horsepower more, that's a big step, for a team. And Aston Martin, so I think we could have some surprises there, that they end up solid in the midfield if it does what it's written on the box in the moment, that car. Ferrari, Ferrari and McLaren doesn't need to get closer. They were a front of everybody else already in Austria. So if that works, it's getting very interesting. But the proof is in the pudding, and we have to wait. But nobody stops, and everybody keeps on pushing, along. So very interesting. And we are now getting, as you said, towards the end of the season, what is coming afterwards. Because at some stage, I don't think there's another 3 or 4 races, and then I think it will dwindle off pretty rapidly, the upgrades.
Do you think there's a possibility that McLaren might have the best package for the second half of the season?
I mean, after Austria, the car was pretty good there, you know. They were good. Right. It's just like, again, if the car is good on all the different racetracks, you know, on all, high-speed racetracks and stuff like this. So, but Zandvoort shouldn't be a lot different than Austria, you know. It's shorter. You don't need as much power as there, but the power wasn't the problem anyway. So I think they will be. I mean, if they can get near where they were in Austria, they will be sporty.
I said that wrong earlier. Hungary, right? That was the last race. Was in Hungary. I said that wrong earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, but and I went with you wrong. I continued with the wrong. Yeah.
Yes. You trust me too much, Guenther. You trust me too much. No, I mean, we're about to have the next two races are going to be wildly different. They couldn't be more different in terms of their qualities. Monza is all power, long straights, very few turns. The teams with the best engines are going to dominate there. And then, Zandvoort, it'll be more aero dependent. The battery deployment won't be as much of an issue. It should play into the hands of Ferrari and McLaren based off how Hungary went. The question then, we can get into more of the Zandvoort discussion, but then it seems to me like the real test of where things ultimately stand, or if Mercedes really can cruise into the rest of this championship, is if they continue their dominance in the tracks like Monza, or if Ferrari can make some type of significant jump, or if that McLaren, which when Lando was driving in Spa, he said he felt like he could have won that race, is that McLaren actually strong on all kinds of tracks, or will we see the kind of same division of power? What are your predictions or thoughts on how Monza will shape up in terms of that?
I mean, we will have again the complaints that it isn't nice to watch it. That I think will be we are pretty sure about that one, yeah. But how Monza will shape up, I think Mercedes was, normally is doing pretty well. But I think Mercedes is in a stronger position because Ferrari and McLaren are fighting now to be number one. And they steal each other points, like McLaren has taken away points from Ferrari in Hungary. If McLaren wouldn't have got up where they ended up in Hungary, Ferrari would have got closer to Mercedes again. So I think two are fighting, and one laughs, which is Mercedes. I mean, Mercedes, what they need to figure out how to make George a point scorer, a consistent, reliable point scorers, because that is where they miss out in the moment. But I think for sure Toto knows that, and we don't have to teach them what to do. But that I think it's their weakest point. Otherwise, because the other two, Ferrari and McLaren, try to be number one, and they take points of each other, which makes then Mercedes, as being the third party, happy and laughing about it.
Well, Jenny wants us to ask you, speaking of George scoring points and maybe he re-engaging with the championship, he did he engaged somewhere else. He got engaged to
Very
his
smooth.
partner.
That was good. That was good.
Yeah,
He got engaged.
See what he did there?
Yeah.
No.
That's why they pay me whatever the fuck I get.
Yeah. First of all, congratulations to George for the engagement from all of us. Yeah.
Yes.
And secondly, just don't blame
Guenther, how
Jenny.
did you propose? How did you propose? How did you pop your question?
I don't remember.
You don't. Fuck you. You don't remember.
No. I don't.
Come on. You don't remember?
No.
That is.
I'm old.
That is,
it was 30 something years ago.
You don't remember the proposal? Have you been married multiple times?
No, only once.
Okay, since you made one proposal, and
it
you don't
must have
remember.
been pretty fucking casual if you don't remember.
Oh yeah. Oh, it was, because I didn't have money to buy a ring or anything at the time, so I think it was let's get married. I think it was like more like, how about getting married? But that was not like you guys, a big ring and all that stuff, and how we're doing the wedding. You know how many people came to my wedding?
How many?
4 in total. My wife and me and the 2 witnesses. That was it.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, exactly. Yeah. Wow. But now back to you, Matt, because you distracted now. Because you were like, oh, Jenny's liking to ask the gossipy stuff. No, it's you. It's you. Don't blame her for you gossiping. So yeah.
Yes, it's all me. I sent the message as Jenny.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Jenny.
okay, then.
Okay, but
yes.
Okay. So obviously you don't think the engagement is a big deal because you don't even remember your own. How much was the ring, Jenny? In the chat, how much do we think the ring was?
We think the ring was around $1.3 million is what the people, who are based off what he got and the estimates that people are doing. 1.3 mil on the ring.
How much did you spend?
Not 1.3 mil.
Not 1.3 mil. Let me tell you, I got a lab-grown diamond. And if I had spent 1.3 million on a lab-grown diamond, it would be the size of this apartment. So, that's what I'm hoping to do. I'm hoping to earn enough money to crush my wife under the weight of a $1.3 million lab-grown diamond. That's what I'm working towards.
That's right. Okay, well, beyond cost of ring and congratulations to George aside, George Russell does have, some time left to salvage this season that he's having.
Yes.
I guess the question is, do you think that's possible? And if so, is this engagement going to be the catalyst that he needs, knowing that he is set up for life with the love of his life? He has just the amount of comfort and security to launch a comeback.
Whoa, that is a very
Is the engagement
question.
Adding downforce or drag?
The drama.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it adding downforce or drag?
I don't think neither. Huh? I think that's his private life, which is one thing. I don't think it interferes in what he does as a profession, being a race car driver. So obviously he didn't come up with the engagement because of his results. I think that was planned before that anyway. So let that one out. But back to George, how can he? I honestly think if he now needs to come up with the goods. I think Otherwise, we know where this is going.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
the pawn shop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
the ring's going to the pawn shop.
The pawn shop. Yeah, the next years, the good days will be over. If he doesn't pull his socks up.
That's right.
So
that's right.
But I think he knows that, and obviously he had a few unlucky situations. The first half of the season. I mean, he was not always lucky, and I think there's nobody more aware of that he needs to do better than himself. He doesn't need us three clowns to tell him that this wasn't good enough. He knows that, and he knows where his career is going. If he doesn't get the results we all expect from him, or what is expected from him, so hopefully he can get it done. And otherwise, I think he will end up in but he's still a good driver, but he will end up not in one of the top 4 teams. He will make the step back to the midfield.
Well, why not? Why not? If you're Toto, I mean, isn't this a fine lineup for you? Aren't you happy with this lineup? I know maybe George is not happy.
No, I don't think he can be happy with the first half of the season, Toto, because they didn't score enough points. Because if they would have scored consistent with 2 cars, they would have now a bigger cushion than they have got. So what Toto needs to look in a season where you don't have this dominating car, you need to make sure that both cars score points, and you need to try to do the best. And I think in the moment, the performance of George, let aside the unfortunate things he was going through, is not up to some of the other guys, in other teams. Like for example, look at Ferrari. I think they're always very close together. They're both scoring points normally. Obviously, they have got races where only one scores, but I think this is one of the things for sure Toto looks into it. And for sure, Toto has got long enough and good relationship with George that they are happy to openly discuss this. This is not a secret. They don't need to be told what is happening. They know better than the 3 of us together what is expected and what they need to do to win championships. And I think that is what will happen. So.
Yeah, it seems like George, I mean, he needs a few things. He needs to come online, and he needs luck on his side. I mean, he needs Kimi Antonelli to falter. He needs Kimi Antonelli to have some type of Oscar Piastri run of races like Lando got. Lando came on form, and Oscar, struggled. He had a few races where, and so he's going to need all those things to come together. The thing that George is now also dealing with that he wasn't dealing with for the first half of the season is that McLaren is on board, has come online, and Ferrari's making a push. So now he's contending where the first however many races it was, just the Kimi and George competition. Now he's got these other guys that he has to contend with.
You have a bad race, you don't finish second. You might finish fifth.
Sixth, yeah, fifth or sixth, yeah.
But that goes for both of them. That goes for both of that cuts both ways, because if Kimi has a bad race, then he's also finishing in fifth or sixth. So if George can get lucky, can drive well, and then also get lucky, there's worlds where he wins a race and Kimi finishes fifth or sixth because the McLarens are so strong, and it's a track that serves the Ferraris.
But I think what Guenther's saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, Guenther, is if I'm George, I'm not even forget the championship. I just need to be. I need to finish close to him if I want to keep my job. That's now the new focus. Just do like Oscar Piastri. I got to finish at least Oscar was close, right? A couple of points, right? Otherwise, it's inexcusable.
No, absolutely. He needs to prove that he has got this, that in the moment he doesn't need to go for the number one driver on the team. Right. He needs to make sure that he stays as the number two driver.
Right. That's brutal.
Assessment. Yeah. That's a brutal assessment.
I think that's right. True. It's just brutal.
He's got to now change his mindset from I'm going for a championship to I need to just keep my job.
Exactly, and have a short-term result, Don't think about, I finished third or second or third or fourth. No, I need to show that I can still win. And then just deal with it, what comes out of it. But do not focus on, I'm going to win the World Championship, because I think that ship has sailed as well, almost, Because the distance is just so much bigger than last year Lando was from Oscar at this point of the year.
Right. Then shifting to if George isn't going to win this championship, obviously we know that you think Kimi's going to win the championship, but then the other people. But in my mind, the other person who could potentially win this thing is one Lewis Hamilton, and we were talking earlier in the episode about Ferrari spending their money now because they think that they can win now. They have the opportunity to win a championship. I don't think that they think that they can win a constructors championship. I think if just being realistic, the championship that they could win is a driver's championship. And right now, Lewis is ahead of Charles and has been driving better than him this year. So then it comes a question of, we've asked it before, we're asking again, should they or will they do some team orders and or prioritize Lewis so that they can get the return on the investment that they're putting into the car now?
I think that will be coming pretty soon. I think there needs to be two things for Lewis to win the championship, the 8th one, and I think that would be a great moment for the sport. Somebody winning 8 championships. Kimi needs to make some mistakes. If Kimi stays clean, very difficult to do. But Kimi is young, and Mercedes has trouble with the car sometimes. Mechanical issues. So I think that is at Ferrari's side, but I think at some stage Ferrari needs to put everything behind Lewis if they're serious about winning it. Because he's in front of Charles, so he should get the support if you want to win it, if you want to win a world championship. And I think Fred, I can just guess, but Fred will be doing that and saying, hey, guys, we need to put our money on one of the guys and not try to be, have papaya rules here. We need to have rules that you go forward, and they need the help of Kimi as well, of Kimi and Mercedes. Otherwise, it will be very difficult.
Right. Do you think it's possible?
I think there is a small chance that it can happen, yes.
Yeah.
For me, the biggest thing is how much will Kimi be struggling the second half of the season? How much Kimi and Mercedes, put it this way,
Right. And it's also, I mean, the pressure, he feels like he's kind of vanquished George, right? You know, and if he's a a superhero in a comic book, he was able to like make light work of George. And, you know, he's cruising on, well, you know, victory is mine. And then if a Lewis can kind of like appear as a real foe, will he falter? Will the pressure of that, because if Lewis gets close, the media storm will go crazy. And like, you know, Kimi's kind of like a little bit like flown under the radar. Like this season's not it's not really the flashiest season. You know, he thought it was going to be George, but he's kind of like cruised past George. And if there's a chance that Lewis can win this thing with the brand equity of Ferrari and the brand equity of Lewis Hamilton and the supernova of Lewis winning the 8th at Ferrari, all of a sudden the entire world will be watching these Formula One races,
rooting against Kimi.
And the nation of Italy, exactly, rooting against Kimi Antonelli.
Yeah.
Amazing point, Matt. I mean, it's going to be tough for him if he's standing in the way of Ferrari getting back on top. I could just see, he seems like a strong kid. He seems like, you know, he posted some workout video that he was doing during the summer break. I was like, this kid could beat up Tom Holland as Spider-Man. He's like, this kid's a little fucking cherubic superhero. But he's still a young kid, and I think that the media attention of Lewis potentially getting the 8th would really potentially fuck with him.
And I think what you said right. I mean, this guy, what Kimi has done this year, it's something special. But nobody I wouldn't say nobody noticed, but it wasn't noticed enough because there was always something else. There was like, you know, Lewis is back and George is struggling. And by the way, there is a 19-year-old kid winning the world championship, which has never done it, you know. And, nice little kid. Yeah. And when that pressure comes on, that the nice little kid, this guy's going to be world champion, then maybe the storm comes to him and maybe it affects him. But let's hope not. And let's see if he can win it.
Yeah.
And then the other factor is obviously Lando Norris winning the championship.
we're having a break now, you know. Yes.
But if I can make the pitch,
just make it.
If you'll indulge me, he felt like he could have won in Spa. He won in Hungary. They're bringing more upgrades. We've seen that this McLaren
wait a moment.
Very strong development team.
Timer. I had sometimes in my career I thought I can be world champion with Haas. Nobody believed me. Same here, you know.
Wait, Guenther, did you ever actually think you could win it? Did you ever go into the No. I mean, you need to be realistic in life.
So you're lying.
Yeah.
So you're lying. So you're lying to me and all of our listeners.
No, I never said that we can win
to make a point.
Yeah.
To disparage Lando Norris, who is driving with the one on his car. He's out here. He's hanging out with Alex Earl. I know that you are a big stan of Alex Earl.
Who is he?
She's a TikToker who Lando's been parading around with. He's been living it up, and that car's coming online, and we'll see. You guys doubt, but we'll see what happens for the rest of the year. I can see this McLaren being nice and quick.
Too late this
year. The class of the field.
Too late this year. Next year. Maybe next year. Too late to the party this year. A little bit like Matti this morning to the podcast, you know? Yeah. Just a little bit too late, you know? Just a little bit too late.
That's right. Okay. Let's go to our favorite segment, Gas or Break.
From Alfonso J. Marquez, Alonso will be in the points at Zandvoort.
Whoa. Give it a gas. That would be exciting. You know, but I don't know if it is possible, but I wish for it, you know. That will mix up a little bit of things, you know. Keep it exciting. Go for it. Yeah. Gas, full gas. Go, Fernando.
Yeah, I'm going full gas. I mean, the upgrades look good last race, and they're bringing the new power unit. We know that Honda are growers, they're not showers. They come on later in the regulation set. And anyway, this is not a power dependent track anyway, and their aero upgrades look good. You know, James Vowles, he's already looking to 2027. Cadillac is in shambles. Haas, they proved that they can't develop in season. I think Aston Martin has a huge opportunity to jump all those guys and really be fighting for the points.
Yeah, I'm going full gas. I can see. Let me go crazy. Double points finish. Double points finish. Double points. Double points.
Oh wow!
Feeling crazy.
That's
feeling wild.
Yeah.
I don't know this. You know, the upgrades. The last piece of the Aston Martin puzzle is the engine. If Honda's done a good job, then who knows? We'll see where this car is. Maybe it is the best. Maybe it's going to be one of the better midfield teams. Remains to be seen. Everything's possible right now. Everything's possible. Next prompt.
From BR Zale 99. McLaren will be the team to beat for the rest of the season.
Break. The team to beat, there will be three teams to beat, or four almost, because if Max has got a good day, there is not one favorite to beat. Everybody, I think, will be able to win races of the four big teams for the rest of the season. That's my prediction. Okay. McLaren being one of them, but not the only one.
I'm going gas. I think McLaren will have the best car. Whether or not they will, step on their own dicks and blow it half the time remains to be seen. Between the strategy, the papaya rules, Lando starts, whatever it is, that's going to be the problem. But they will be the team to beat in this second half of the season. But will they beat themselves is probably a better question.
We don't need to wait for Brian's answer here. We know what it is,
That's right. Yeah, that was already saying the team to beat, but will they take that as a challenge and will they attempt to do it themselves? I do think that they would be the team to beat. I think that they will finish the year very
with
strong.
Lando Norris. With
Lando Norris. Next prompt.
From Spat 1012. George will not win another race this season.
Break. He will win another race this season. He will win. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I mean, we cannot give up on him. He was my favorite.
Why not?
He was my favorite beginning of the season to win the World Championship. He's going through a tough time. Now that he got engaged, as Matt found out, he will be in a better place and he will win at least one race. That was a good explanation, huh?
I think I'm going gas. I mean, Kimi's got... When the Mercedes is online, Kimi's the faster driver. All these other cars are coming online. So not only does he have to beat Kimi, which seems like it was a tall enough order, but he's got to beat all these other fucking guys. He's got to beat Lewis. He's got to beat Charles. He's got to beat Lando. He's got to beat Oscar. He's got to beat Max. I'm going gas.
I'm going break as well. I really hope that he can win this championship still. I still think that is potentially possible.
We are talking about winning a race, not a championship. That's gone.
I know, but if he's going to win a championship, he's going to have to win multiple races.
That's right.
I want to believe in a world where George Russell, that this is not what George Russell's career turns into. But I'm not saying, I can't say it with my full chest, but I am still going to say break. He wins multiple races.
And if George doesn't win the races, George doesn't win, Lando wins. Correct, Brian?
If George has won the races, Lando wins, or Lewis wins, or Kimi wins.
Okay.
But I think that Lando's. I think there's a lot of
from Brian there.
I think that a lot of podiums are coming Lando's way, and more
George's
than one
way.
win are also coming Lando's way. Okay, that does it for gas or break. Let's talk about Zandvoort. Let's get our predictions. But before we get our predictions, can you just tell us a little bit of what you understand about Zandvoort? What's it like racing there? Which teams we predict to be strong?
I think predictably strong, we cannot go to the past because you've got new regulations, but predictably strong, I would say the teams which were good in Hungary will be good there. So McLaren will be good. Also, we have to mention that it's the last race for now for Zandvoort. It's gone from the calendar next year.
Right.
unfortunately. I mean, it's a pretty cool place to go there. You know, a lot of history there from the good old days on the beach, on the dunes of the Netherlands. So, but obviously it didn't work out commercially. So they decided not to continue with the race. But and again, it's like the Orange Army will be disappointed. They have to travel further now.
What does that mean? It doesn't work out. What do you like? What goes into a decision? What goes into that decision where they're like, "Fuck Zandvoort"?
The promoters couldn't make enough. I mean, you know, the promoter was Bernard von Oranje, one of the royal family, very good guy. I mean, he came up with the idea. It was a complete crazy idea when him and I don't remember his business partner's name. They came up with this idea and they wandered around in the paddock saying, "Oh, we want that you guys go back to Zandvoort at the time." And I was like, "Wow, these are two weirdos, you know." And then they made it happen. They changed the track and they did a fantastic job on it. You know, the atmosphere there is good. But what he explained me, Bernard, is like, you know, they had new VAT taxes. Or they had to pay more tax, so the business model doesn't work. With the fees they had to pay FOM, and with the amount of people they can get to the racetrack, now if they have to pay more taxes, they lose money. And you know, it's nice to do something which is cool, but if you keep on losing money, I mean, at some stage it gets old. And I think they got the position that they said, "Hey, in a moment it doesn't work with this new tax rules." And we need to leave it. And obviously, you cannot go back to FOM and say we pay you less money now because our government decided that we have to pay more taxes, because that's your problem, not ours, rightly so. And they decided for the moment, to call it quits. So let's see if they come back one day. But the times they were there, it was always pretty well organized, or very well organized. You know, it's a cool place, and you know, maybe we're back one day.
Guenther, that was the most comprehensive answer you've ever given on this podcast. That was amazing.
Wow. What do I get for it?
You get
an attaboy for
approval.
Me. You get our approval.
You get
Thank you.
Matt's compliment.
Yeah, which is very rare, because normally he has got some... No, it's very rare. It's the first and the last time, maybe.
Wow, taxes. It all came down to Dutch taxes. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
That's when Guenther comes alive, when he talks about taxes. Okay, let's
living in his log cabin.
Yeah, exactly.
In North Carolina. It's all about taxes. Goddamn, he's a libertarian down in there in his cabin.
All right, let's do some predictions. Let's predict Rockstar, Vankah, and then our top three, and we'll get into the standings as is. Guenther, who do you predict will be Rockstar for Zandvoort?
Aston Martin. We told them that if they end up in the top 10, two cars in the top 10, they are the rock stars. So we need to go with them. That's a prediction. Right. It doesn't mean that it will be, you know, prediction.
Right.
And Vankah. That's more difficult to predict.
Dutch government for depriving us of a
good
great
idea.
Track.
Exactly. Yeah, for taking us to Zandvoort away.
Yes,
exactly.
That's right.
Vankah.
That's right.
And they maybe get it after the next weekend as well.
Exactly.
You predict that it will be the Dutch government. That's a very risky prediction.
Yes.
All right, Matt, Rockstar, Vankah for Zandvoort.
I am predicting. My Rockstar will be Lewis, because I think he's gonna fucking win. And my Vankah, I think Kimmy's gonna fuck this one up. I just have a feeling. I feel like he's crashed here before. Didn't he ever crash with Charles here? Jenny, can you look that up?
Yes,
Yes.
I know Charles crashed here last year. Was that Kimmy?
Was that Kimmy? I feel like I just feel like I feel like those banked turns, they just have disaster written all over them. He had a bad crash in
he came out of the pits. He came out of the pits and he hit
Cold
Leclerc,
tires,
and Leclerc was out, and then Leclerc was sitting on top of the hill. That is what happened at Zandvoort last year. Yes,
I have a vivid memory of these bank turns. They stick in my mind. He's gonna fuck something up. I just have a bad feeling. Ooh. He's a teenager on these roller, the roller rinks where they go skating. or the bikes. Yeah, I got a bad feeling about Kimi on this one.
Interesting. I'm going Rockstar. Lando Norris. I'm going Wanker. I'm going Kimi as well. I was having that in my gut, and you said it, and now I feel emboldened. I think that we maybe see the first crack in the armor from one Kimi Antonelli. It starts in Zandvoort, and then we have a championship battle on our hands. Okay. Let's do our predictions for the podium right now. The standings are Guenther, you are sitting on top, just like Kimi Antonelli with 35 points. Matt, you are in second with 25 points, and I am in third with 24 points. But no lead is safe, not in Formula One and not in our podium standings. So, Guenther, what's your podium for Zandvoort?
Whoa. I need to think. Kimi, Max, Lewis.
Ooh.
No. Kimi, Max, Lando. Kimi, Max, Lando. Sorry. Kimi, Max, Lando.
Okay.
I'm going Lewis, Lando, Max.
And I'm going Lando, Lewis, Max. Same
Whoa.
podium, different order for Matt and I. I like it. I'm excited. Second half of the year. Make sure that you are subscribed. Make sure that you hype this video if you're watching on YouTube. Make sure you tell your friends about it. Make sure you've pre-ordered our book. Make sure you've already bought Guenther's many books.
That's right.
And we will see you next week, Vankahs.
Goodbye,
Vankahs.
Wankers.